Hello everyone, how are you? Just doing a little video on some of the things we've traded this year. So we're 2 months into this year, and I just wanted to show you some of the stuff. So one of the things that has worked really, really well for me over the last 2 or 3 years is Garmin. So Garmin Limited. So yes, this is an overall trend going up. So we have the overall market is going up, but you'll notice that we've had pretty big spikes here on the back of earnings. So you'll see here there was an entry, earnings, and it popped up. Here was an entry and earnings popped up. Here was an entry, and look, earnings popped down before it then went back up. Here, earnings, market was at a low and earnings popped up. And then finally here, look, market was at a low and earnings popped up. Now, when I say the earnings popped up, look at the last couple of earnings, 22% and 5, 40% and 10, 8% and I'll round up to 6, 36, 37 and 10, and then finally, 18 and 7. Okay, so earnings has been pretty damn good across this, and we've had some really, really good winners. Now, they're not all sort of gambles on the market, and as you can see, there's levels, there's consolidations. But if we just look at this one here, so we had a bounce here, a bounce here. Now we actually took this trade here, and if you would have held on to it here, you would have been stopped out. But it's got to a 1.1 here. So anyone who's been following me, your stop loss should have been trailed underneath that. And then, yes, you would have potentially had a 0.1 of a win or broke even on that. So, or if you had a 1-to-1 on it, you would have got stopped out. But usually I have a target of 3-to-1 and I have a trailing stop loss underneath it, which means then we got triggered out at 0.1 winner. And then it come back down to here. So my idea is that this one I got in live, but usually I enter slightly above that bar. So that means then we get triggered in on the way up. But I wanted to be in this, sitting off this level. I wanted to be as close to this level as possible. So that's why I got into it live here. And as we can see here, we had a massive pop to the upside, and that's that there. So 3.36% there, where it is today. Where it went up to 3.85. Now, just to show you what I did on this here is if we have a look here at eToro, so this is the one that I've used. So I've just changed this from the 1st of the 1st 2025, and we can see here that we have Garmin. Now Garmin made us 350 quid. Okay, so we place this on the 12th of the 2nd. So we'll go back here. So that date there. So the 12th of the 2nd. So that's the date we placed. There's the entry, and it moved sideways and then it gapped up. Now, how we know it's gapped up as well, it has a historical thing of gapping up. If you look at analysts, they're expecting earnings to be good. And also, thirdly, this meets my criteria as it's a trending market. Okay, yes, we have a consolidation here, but usually with all those things together, we generally have a good earnings. So we had a nice little pop up here on Garmin, so we can see that there. Now, something I did exactly the same as. Now, yes, because I traded this as a CFD. Now, I didn't trade this as an underlying asset. I traded this as a CFD. They charged me £5.22 for having a trade that won 353. Now, this trade did go up to 453, but because I have my trailing stop loss underneath at 1%, I eventually got triggered out at 353. Okay, so yes, we did give back 100 at the beginning. Now I only ever risk 100 quid on per trade. Now it says invested here 500 quid, but I only ever risk 100 quid per trade. Now what the 500 is that the broker needs 500 quid of my money to hold till that trade finishes. Okay, but I'm only risking £100 of it. Okay, so that's the idea of it here. Something similar with Palantir. If we have a look and go back now down to Palantir, so this is something also that I traded, and we can see here that jumped in there. Now this one has less technicals than the other one, so that's why I showed the other one first. But again, I jumped in sort of live here, getting close to earnings. We were getting close to earnings, so I wanted to be in this because if we look at the last earnings, there 10 and 3. Look at the move that we had. If we look at the earnings here before it, again 11 and 4, and look the move that we've had. And then finally this one again, 4 and 3, and it was here. Yes, we had a little pop down, and then look, it took off again. So if we look at the last 3 or 4 earnings, they've all been really, really good. And then what happens here is earnings again was 26 and almost 7. So again, we had really, really good earnings. Now, if we look at this, I actually had 2 trades on Palantir. Now, this was the first one. I got in slightly earlier on the 21st, and it moved up, and I had a trailing stop loss, and I got stopped out here with £4 profit. So if we have a look at this, it moved up here. So the 21st. So there's where I got in. It moved up, and then it come back down, and then it stopped us out. So it stopped us out here. So that meant we got stopped out here. And because I went up there and then come back down, I actually had moved my stop loss inside break even, and I got stopped out with a £4 profit. Now, if I didn't take that trade, I'd be super annoyed. So I took it then again on the 28th. So got in somewhere on this day. I don't know what the exact price was here. Palantir, 79. So you can see here that the price difference is $6. Okay, so it would have been far better off if I had left this one alone. It would have made more risk to reward. But again, this one took off and it went up £250. Now it did go up 350, and my trailing stop loss was 100 behind it. But again, see this here, this pullback here, I got stopped out in this pullback. So this did go up to a high here, and I'd be stopped out today, and that is, I would have £378 there on that if I had left the original trade open. But sometimes you have to play ball with it. And just to give you sort of a little understanding is that done the same with the German DAX, and the trailing stop loss got us out there at £89 of a win. All right. Now, as you can see, not everything goes according to plan. And I said I only risk 1%. Oil gapped a little bit below my stop loss. So that's why that was £119 loss rather than just 100. But if we look at this overall, this is just my CFD trades. I filtered out all the rest of the underlying assets and all that sort of stuff. Just my CFD trades, £578 profit so far over the 2 months just trading CFDs, and and these are only stocks. This is nothing. We haven't done FX or anything like that. This is just stocks, but it just goes to show they're hugely profitable, and don't ever forget about them. Everyone wants to trade sort of the FX. Everyone thinks it's sexy. If you have a look at the likes of stocks, get something that's nicely trending. What I did over here is I have a list of all trending stocks 2025, and if we have a look at them, here's stocks 2025 that are trending nicely. Look, if I zoom out a little bit, there's the overall trend. They're clearly heading in directions, and it's all about just getting entries. So this is one that we're in at the minute. We're in Amex. We got triggered in here, slightly up on Amex at the moment, but let's see how it plays out. And once it comes back to these levels, this has to come back to here, and I'll take it. This here is a potential trade right now. So we have an entry above yesterday's bar, stop loss below here. So they're all there. Remember, a stock is designed to go up. It's just a matter of being at the right place at the right time. Home Depot wanted to come back to here, but earnings is coming out here, and I'm not as bullish on the likes of Home Depot earnings as I was on Garmin. But again, look at this one, bounce, 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 and we didn't take that one. But again, trading is not difficult. Sometimes it's just being the right place, the right time. This one didn't come back to here, so we didn't take this trade. All right, everyone. So it's been an absolute pleasure. Make sure you're not forgetting stocks. Stocks can be massively, massively profitable if you want. This is also a trade that we took on live on the Wednesday webinar. Right there, entry there, got triggered in, come back down, hit this floor again, and took off. So at this present moment, the trade is open and running. We're 1.8% up on that one. And so that means then my stop loss is at 0.8. So my stop loss is somewhere about here, I'd imagine already, which means I cannot lose on it. If you want to know more about this or jump in on any of my live streams, you're more than welcome to just subscribe and also reach out to me on henry-ward.co.uk or contact at henry-ward.co.uk. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.